Ebooks, the digital version of paperback books or hardcover books. You know them, you love them, you hate them. Maybe you buy them. Maybe you think they are the worst reading experience you could possibly imagine. But they're cheap as shit. That's the basic business pitch of an ebook. Is you at one time you buy an e-reader and then you can buy ebooks for cheap, and eventually you will pay off the e-reader, and then you can start saving money from there on as you sate your reading addiction. The only problem is you're reading off an e-reader. I don't think I'm alone in saying that it kind of sucks. I know we're all used to reading like Twitter and news feeds and Reddit and such on our phones. But that doesn't mean you really want to read a book that way compared to like an actual physical object in your hands. But it's cheaper, right? So there's that trade-off. Unfortunately, it's not quite that simple, because if you're like me and you're an author trying to sell books, I sold my ebooks for $2.99 US. And I do that specifically because that is the lowest price, I'm told, that Amazon will allow without algorithmically suppressing the book. Because obviously, if I were to set the price lower, I'd get more sales theoretically if it wasn't for algorithmic suppression. But I'd probably get less money. But at my stage in developing my audience, my platform, I need eyes. I need to meet people. I need people to hear about me. So the sales are more important than the money. So I'm incentivized to give stuff away for free. That's actually why I have a free web novel available on Royal Road called The Undying Emperor. That is but I recognize that is a loss leader. That is a finite amount, or not really. I release chapters, but that is some amount of my writing that then funnels people to stuff they have to pay for. That is how I view that. That is a market strategy, and I accept that I'm losing money because it takes me effort to write that web novel. And it is by far my most successful story. By readership, by reviews, by ratings, by everything. Undying Emperor is my most successful story because it doesn't cost money. And because it's on a platform where people are willing to try new authors. And they're willing to try because it's free. This is part of a larger problem with the current internet economy. Now, this may sound like this isn't driven by a book or manifesto in this case, but I just read You Are Not a Gadget by Jaron Lanier, who is over at Microsoft. He was really influential in the founding of the internet. He talks a lot about the history and the implications and locked-in programming design and a bunch of really interesting stuff. I feel like I learned a lot, but I also feel like I need to read so much more in this genre before I can actually have an informed decision, because I need to compare with what I already know, what I've picked up from random YouTubers, and what I know about how computers work, and I just don't have enough knowledge yet to really give a thoughtful analysis on these kinds of books about the digital culture we're in. And I'm planning to read more. That will come in the future, because that's supposedly the focus of this channel. There is one specific asset here that I want to focus on that he brings up, though. That is the collapse of the price of entertainment. This happened because of, for books, fame-seeking, I believe, and for every other form of media, it is driven by ads, and then for video games, for example, it's driven by in-game purchases now, where they want to get you in the door with something free, and then they kind of twist you with, you've put in so many hours, don't you want to have this cosmetic item, don't you want to save some time from this like obnoxious mission that you'd have to run 100 times or whatever. So for example, I really like the game Warframe. You may be familiar with it. It is a looter shooter, 4 players against swarms of enemies. And it's a lot of fun, and I have a modest 1,092.4 hours logged in this game that is totally free to download. Free. Now, personally, I've bought cosmetic items, I've bought platinum, I've sped things up, I've done this, that, and the other thing, because I recognize that the game is funded by people buying those things, and I believe in giving money to people that are giving me something worthwhile. So over the years, I probably spent something like $100 on this game, but I didn't need to. I could have gotten those almost 1,100 hours for free. More commonly, let's say Netflix. You get a, what is it, $14 subscription, or whatever it is now. I steal Netflix. Come after me. Just try and find my account, Netflix. But you pay for that subscription, and then that is a flat rate subscription, no matter whether you watch one episode a month or if you watch 100 hours of content. It's the same cost, which means once you've paid it, all that incremental entertainment is free. That's how people view it. People view Netflix as the cheap option, even though they're paying for that cheap option on a monthly basis, unless they're stealing it. It's even more obvious when you get to YouTube, because they're recently starting a war about this, but typically you can just turn on ad block, and then you have infinite entertainment on YouTube in video format. Some of it really high quality, some of it less so, some of it entertaining, some of it memey and funny, and there's so much music and podcasts and people trying to get famous on YouTube that they are willing to give away their content for free to get eyes. Which, for some people, I think it becomes really obvious with like Twitch streamers. The system is taking advantage of a lot of people who are putting in so much effort to try and succeed, but they just aren't catching. They're not getting enough viewership. They're not getting enough engagement to actually make the ad revenue model work for them. So their viewers are getting effort out of the entertainer at no cost, basically. Or the entertainer, therefore, is not getting paid enough for their effort because they have to work the same difficulty whether one person is watching them, whether 7 people or 70,000 people are watching them. It's the same, pretty much. Okay, moderators, whatever. The internet, therefore, has driven the price of entertainment to zero, pretty much. People recognize that there are things that you have to pay for. Like, everyone kind of accepts if you want a paperback book, you have to pay for the paper. You have to pay for the shipping. You have to pay for the person to deliver it to you. So, a book like this easily costs $12. I'm not even getting much royalties on this. I get some royalties, probably less than you would expect. Most people think I'm getting like $12 every time I sell one of these books. And how that works. But that's why they want ebooks to be cheaper, is because there isn't that paper. They recognize that the ebook is just a little digital transaction that the author and the platform split. So that's why they want it to be really, really cheap. There's a lot of people that think ebooks should just be $1. It should be a nominal payment because it's a nominal, transfer of all that effort the author put into it. A lot of authors push back on that, and it does seem a little ridiculous to say that an author should spend months of their life honing, polishing, putting all their effort into something, and then just give it away. For what? Why should entertainment be free? Unfortunately, a lot of people do give their books away for free. You go on a site like Royal Road, if you're comfortable not paying to get ahead, if you're comfortable being behind and reading old stuff, you could read stories of questionable quality every day, probably for 10 hours a day until the day you die and not run out. That is how much free content is available. But that's amateur content, you say, that's low quality. Okay, you can buy or pick up, download public domain books for free. They're totally free. You can get e-reader copies of public domain books that could fill a library that you will never finish in your entire life for free. You can read those for free. And those, if you are fine with the more dated writing style, they're better quality than random authors you'll find on Twitter. So why should people pay for a book? Because of recency, novelty, because it's the right thing to do. Because if they don't pay the $3, the author creating this particular story that happens to scratch their particular desire will get suppressed by Amazon. Does that make sense? Realistically, people should be paying for all the entertainment they get. This comes up like clockwork. Every 5 months, pretty much, there's one platform or another having an adpocalypse because there just is not enough money in advertising for the amount of people trying to make entertainment content. That's why you see so many people relying on subscribers to their channel, channel subscribers. Sub to my Patreon. Oh, I need brand sponsors for dubious mobile game scams and crypto scams. That's why all the entertainers you see are turning to these alternative revenue sources because other people, market forces on the internet, and the nature of piracy, let's not forget piracy, has driven the price of the actual entertainment to nothing. The golden era of Western culture occurred when individual creators were able to work in companies and publishers and producers and all this and get paid in a free market for what they're producing fairly. Now, you can probably, so that's probably going to rankle some people, because did comic artists and writers ever get paid well? Do they ever keep their rights well? Not commensurate with what Disney used to be making on Marvel movies, that's for sure. But it was better. It's gone to crap now. There's a platform called Webtoons, which, in order to succeed on that, you need to update often and a lot. And I heard some stats where it's like you need to draw 70 panels a week to be competitive. Find me an artist that can do that nonstop, and do not say Oda writing One Piece. That's cheating, and you know it. But the problem is, when other people are willing to work for less, it's a labor market. The consumer is going to go for the best deal, and that is a mixture of release schedule, it's a mixture of quality of the content, the amount of the content, the subgenre that is being approached with it. Victory goes to the people putting in more work, and that's not healthy. So, where does this come back to? I sell my ebooks for $3 because that is the floor, because there isn't better. And right now, I need to get started. My prices probably will go up as I go, probably deeper in the series, because once I've got someone hooked, I think I can probably charge a bit more fairly, so I can actually make a living at this maybe. But that's just not how it works. And I think we are going to see a distinct change in how people have to pick what they choose for entertainment. Everyone made a joke about this 10 years ago when all the streaming services started fighting with each other and raising their prices. It's that joke of Hulu, Netflix, Crunchyroll, Amazon Prime, HBO, by our powers combined, we're the same price as cable. Entertainment costs money. The money has to come from somewhere, and this idea of, advertisers will pay for it, just doesn't work. Especially when everyone's hiding their data, everyone has ad blockers, and really, when's the last time you bought something from an ad? Does it happen often? I don't buy from ads. Do you? Let me know in the comments. Till then, I ask that you think about that next time you're shopping for something. Is the price that you're paying actually going to sustain the industry? Because a lot of times it doesn't. Till then, I actually quite enjoyed You Are Not a Gadget by Jaron Lanier. I do plan to return to more of the ideas in there. I just wanted to talk about the price of entertainment and the idea that sites like Amazon and YouTube and TikTok and you name it are just these aggregator sites that want to filter for the very, very, very best and give snapshots and compare them and make memes out of them. And people are drifting towards that as derivative content being preferable to the original content. But that's a subject for future videos. Till then, what do you think about the price of ebooks? It's just ones and zeros, but it took a lot of work. So how much should it cost? Drop a like, drop a sub, tell your friends, join the book club. The link is in the description. And if you want to support me, you can pick up a copy of Faceless, the book one of the Bastion Blackstone series, because the sequel is coming out later this year. That's on Amazon. Just search it. Come on, it's my name. I got good SEO. Peace.